Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
It's 3 a.m. and the sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. A 100 boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Accuser of the fucking brethren, you motherfucker! Yes, ma'am.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Break them off some. That's it. Welcome to Sergeant's Time. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence on this 27 February 2020. No, there's nothing wrong with your sound. I am sick.
Oh no.
I feel like ass.
Did wash your hands.
I don't know what it is. It might. Well, see, I drink Tecate, so it's not the coronavirus. Only weak asses drink Corona and fucking Modelo. Yeah. So I don't know what it is. It ain't the Ronas. It's what it is. But so you have to apologize. I'm gonna have to apologize right now. I might be coughing, sneezing, cutting off, and all that. But no, there is nothing wrong with your sound right now. Do not try to adjust your set. Prepare yourself for the psychological pornography that we're putting in your head. That is all things sergeanting. No behooving, no caveating, and no piggybacking what anybody wants to say. I ain't got the virus, man. No way. Anyways.
I'm sniffling too, but it's allergies.
Is that like a pity sniff or something like that?
No.
Sorry, Ken. Yeah, it's like, oh, what was the name of those aircraft? Those were two MH6 Little Bird helicopters starting up together, and then they flew away. So it was imagining yourself getting into the bench of a little bird to fly off to do some missions, and that's what we're doing. See, I mean, Spanky, yeah, I got the Kung Flu, man. I'm telling you, yeah. I was just talking to somebody today, and I was like, oh man, so forgive me if I'm a little agitated or something like that, or my voice does not sound right. I know everybody else when I get sick. The last time I got really sick, everyone was freaking out about my voice. They thought it was not me.
It's a little deep.
Yeah, it's a little deep. They think that I ain't got this sick. The young and the old are always the first to get. You mean the young and the weak? What I've been through, I'm not weak. I'm not old. Age, but a state of mind. Pip. But anyways, so how you guys doing? Yeah, no, I ain't got the virus. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the sentiment. Everyone's you got the thrax. No, I do not have the thorax. Thank you so much, though. We're broadcasting live on all 12:15 and podcasting on all of our platforms right now. We're running 5x5. If you're listening to us on Twitter, hey, yo, on the Twitter world. You're listening to us on the Facebooks, WTFNationRadio.com. Also, if you look at the post right now on the page, you'll notice that there is also other tags to pages that are currently within the WTF Nation Empire, and that empire is all you see the WTFs in there, and then yeah, you see all of them in there, and you'll see. Well, first off, we have let's see what we got. We got freaking the WTF U.S. Army WTF moments videos. That has all the videos in there. We also have U.S. Army WTF moments memes for all your meme fun. We also have We also got U.S. Space Force WTF moments. Yes.
More will be coming from there.
We were
soon,
yeah. We have Oh, I'll be honest with you. Space Force. That there is actually I do have some base tonight. Thank you, Branko. Space Force, we actually have that. Those admins are actually from the Space Force. They're actually from Space Force. They're the dude. They're real legit space dudes. So yeah, you hit them up and ask them if you want to be an admin on that. But they have like a strict criteria of spacing, I guess. I'm not a. I'm all about astronomy and I love freaking space and all that stuff. You know, the United States of space. I dig all that shit, but they have a pretty strict criteria. I mean, one of them I think is like freaking going to their mathing is unreal. I go into what they call their lab and say, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And they're like throwing equations and shit at me, and I'm like,
I don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh well, I just want to see how you guys are doing. If there's any tech issues, let me know." And I walk out. I don't even mess around with that. And then of course you see the tag on there, Grunts Gaming Network. Those are the gaming affiliates that we have on with us. And then we also have our tag right. You see right there, War Horses for Veterans. So there you go. Yeah, what was it right there? Tequila and whiskey will cure that. I'll be honest with you. I want to. The last time I was sick and I had a hot toddy. We were talking some mad shit, man.
But hot toddies like cure everything.
Yeah, they do. They
You should send that to China.
Yeah, you should send that to China.
At least the recipe and the ingredients.
Right, at least something like that. I don't even know if they drink hot toddies over there. But anyways, they need to be drinking some water or something. Maybe some Pedialyte or something like that to get rid of those. But yeah, so yeah, the MH6s, yeah, the MH, the awesome little birds. You'd be surprised what they carry and all that shit. So yeah, they're pretty good just little ships. But anyways, from what I remember, the CLS training, what was the proper treatment for Kung Flu? Was it 800 mil? Yeah, exactly, 800 milligram ibuprofen. First socks, tourniquet, and IV. Well, what was that? What is that? Whole blood transfusions now? Was that what they're doing? But anyways, go check out those pages. Go check out Space Force, WTF Moments, WTF Moments memes, WTF Moments videos, and then there you go. And then we have also the where is it at? Did I even put I don't see is War Horses for Veterans up in y'all? Is there? Do I see the tag up in there? Do I see them? Hang on, let me see. The War Horses for Veterans are on that tag. They should be on that tag already. I know we seen him. Let me see. Let me add this right here. King of the Hills, just Texas anime. That's the latest meme that I'm seeing right there. You know what? They are up there. My bad. Damn it, Bobby. But the last time you making fun of my tag, they should be on that tag already. I know so. Damn it, Bob. God damn it, Bobby. What the hell's up with the Thrax?
Oh my God, you can do that voice perfectly.
Yeah, with the voice now, with my voice the way it is now.
Right?
Tonight we're gonna do Sergeant's Time, all like Hank Hill.
I don't know how to do Peggy though.
You know how to do Peggy?
No.
If you get off my fucking grass, I will light you up with propane. Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, guys and gals are gonna have to forgive me. Spanky's gonna be assisting me in the chats and helping me out with the stories and stuff. Because man, it is just like so. Right now, real quick, I don't know what happened in Tinker Air Force Base. Everyone's talking about, hey, what happened in Tinker? I guess it was just an exercise. It was just an event that happened, and I guess it didn't happen, and I guess it's done. So there we go. That's really the key, I guess, takeaway. That was it that happened. I mean, was that right? Did you have anything else? Did you see anything else that happened?
No. They posted like real world like lockdown, and that's all I heard. Okay. So. Right. But if it was an exercise, who knows? I asked a few friends that live near there, and they hadn't even heard nothing about it. Right. So it was like, they were probably going on about their day. Right. Exactly. They were like, huh, what the hell? We usually get that a lot anyways. We're like, that's not what was on WTF Moments. They haven't have that. And no, there's nothing wrong with my voice. There's nothing wrong with the sound, you guys. There was Facebook is now getting a lot of their notifications for muting music. So now, unless you have specific permission or there are some criteria to set up a page with some or a video with some music in it, Facebook will ask you a series of questions. Well, we've been getting muted lately, and I was wondering, okay, why are we getting some of our music muted? And it's not the music. So there was a couple of shows that I was listening to of us, and it come to find out it was muting me. Because according to Facebook, my voice belongs to some dude named Ice. And I like to wish you happiness and all that, Ken. But unfortunately, you can't have your voice back because it belongs to Ice. It don't belong to you. You know what I mean? What's up, Holly? What's
Your
up, Chris?
voice has been copyrighted by someone.
My
else?
voice has been copyrighted already. Hey, what's up, Recruiter Times? Chris, what's going on, Branko? What's up, Pip? Yeah, it's been. Yeah, so my voice has been hijacked by Facebook by some imposter out there. And so, yeah, I was just kind of like, wait a minute. So we've been getting notifications that your voice, this has been muted, and it's always been on my show. So it's pretty freaking funny, actually. I should actually call on Facebook and say, hey, what's up again? Why are you guys dropping me this drama? But anyways, all right. So real quick, let's talk about the Thrax. Or no, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that shit. That's fucked up. It's not a serious. It's not. I don't know. Is it a serious? Is it all hyped up? The coronavirus. Hang on.
I think a little of both.
Yeah. Hey, Jim Laporta. Hi, good to meet you. I'm going to send you a message right now. There you go. On the air at the moment. I'll talk to you later, bro. I love Jim. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So what's going on with the coronavirus right now is currently there's a lot of stop movements and a lot of, I would say, I think we could call this a quarantine, right? I mean, it's just legit a quarantine. Yeah. What's happening is that most of these areas that are, I guess you would say, I don't know, obviously in the Asian Pacific theater, they've kind of minimized travel on that. And then, according to the Daily Wire, now look, we grab our material and stuff like that from places that are going through and per, jumped for media. So when you guys are going, yes, you're just using this as blah, 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 you realize that a lot of these aggregate freaking press places use stories from other people too. So for you guys that are all in a specific form of media that only want to do it because they're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, you realize they get most of their shit from other media sources. So don't think that there's a bias. So this right here is from the Daily Wire per CNN, if that makes any sense. And I think it was another release on I think some of the there were some posts in local media in California where this was happening. And basically, the Center of Disease Control said yesterday that they had identified the first confirmed case of an individual who did not travel from China, but who had not had any previous obvious contact with anybody to be infected. So now we have a coronavirus case of unknown origin, and that patient is hospitalized. You ever see the movie The Stand? You ever see that or read the book The Stand from? Did you ever read Hank Hill moment? Did you ever read the book The Stand from Stephen King?
Oh yeah, it has been so many years though. God, a long time ago. I read all of Stephen King's books when I was in my early 20s. So
right,
that's a minute ago, maybe 3 minutes.
Greetings, Xavier. How you doing? Yeah. So the thing is that here, hang on. Ghosts among us, indeed. Hang on. As a matter of fact, Jim Laporta said he can come on anytime he wants. Well, how about you, man? Read the book. Dating Myself. Yeah, you know, D-Max. I know how to fucking read, dude. I'm not attacking
you. It's not a lost art.
It's not a lost art. You know, I know the language of our peoples. I could read it. Matter of fact, hang on. Let me see if Jim Laporta wants to shoot the shit with us. Hang on, let me see right now. He's messaging me right now. He's live. He
doesn't know we're busy.
I know.
Sorry.
Call up, dude. There we go. Yeah, it'll be a real quick. 415. What's our phone number again? 415. Oh yeah, it's on the fucking ticker.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, exactly.
It says call the show at.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dating myself. 415-889-8367. Call the show now at 415-889-8367, Jim Laporta. There we go. Yeah, I sent him the deed. So, go ahead. You were saying?
Oh, well, I saw that about the case in LA that doesn't know where they got it from. Because all the other cases that, kind of watching, the widow in Daegu, the soldier in Humphreys, at least they kind of know where they got it or, we're in contact with it. But it is a little I don't know, I want to say scary because, you know, I survived bird flu, SARS, everything else. But it just, I guess, more concerning that they don't know like where they caught it. And I'm just, I believe, again, it's just kind of like the flu. It's just, you know, but I don't quite understand what the big deal about it is, other than, you know, it's just another virus. But I'm sure everybody that is healthy will be fine. So, but you never know. And obviously you don't want it to spread, but it's going to happen. I mean, you have soldiers moving all over the world, which I think I even said about 4 or 5 days ago, like squares on how long it'll take to do a stop move in and out of Korea.
And sorry, and I should have taken you up. I should.
They haven't done Korea yet. Like, you know, they're still letting people come and go. But you saw like the news from CENTCOM. They're like, nah.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, we're gonna cover that in a minute.
Yeah.
So currently, right now, the agency, which has warned Tuesday that the United States is likely to experience a community spread. See, a community spread of the virus. That's like new. I like how these new words of excellence. You know, it's almost like these buzzwords are coming up, and you know, it's like freaking community spread. You mean?
I mean, the common cold does that.
Yeah, you mean spreading diseases? You know what I mean? It's almost like they don't want to say it. You know, it's like freaking. I don't get. I don't get this. How I don't get how fact that they're lightening the mood. They're lightening the mood. You know what I mean? I'm pro plague, nature, forest, fire, and population control, dude. I'm telling you what, man. Is it? I mean, what's the?
I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse.
I'm about to say, man.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I want to see the Z's, man. I mean, is it kind of like one of those things where like they're not really? Ooh, is this another tinfoil thing? Is that they said it wouldn't hit the country, and the next thing you know, bam, it's already here.
Right.
I'm not trying to say that, you know, maybe D. Treasy was correct in quarantine and closing the borders and stuff. But isn't this kind of like one of those haha moments, or am I just not? Is it just not being sensitive to the situation right now? I have the first edition leather bound copy written in quill and ink by Stephen King's own hand. I do, Chris. You have no idea. I do have the original stand. It's actually pretty. I love that book, man. And the TV show got kind of weird, and after that, and all that stuff. But anyways, community spread. All right. I don't know about this community spread that's already infected 80,000 and killed around 2,000 people worldwide. I don't want to call it a community spread. I think they call that a plague. Or epidemic, or something to the effect. Pandemic. I saw Planet of the Apes. I saw that little globe that's got all those little networking things where that guy's flying around, you know. Yeah. The patient was admitted to UC Davis Medical Center last week, but wasn't tested as Sunday for the coronavirus, according to a letter sent Wednesday to the UC Davis staff and obtained by CNN. And that's because the patient did not fit the existing CDC criteria for such testing, according to the news network. Funny how they want to test and add criteria for something like that for speculation, but when it comes to something like, I don't know, it's kind of serious, it's like this. It's kind of like, yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, colds and flu and everything else are going around too. If you had like no reason to suspect that she's been in contact with anybody that, you know, could have passed it to her. I mean, obviously she was. Whoever that person was probably is like still in the incubation period, don't have any symptoms. Like, haven't they even said exactly how long you could have this before you like become symptomatic?
Isn't this like, I mean, but isn't it, what is this, the Immaculate Conception, the Immaculate Disease Conception or something like that? You know what I mean? Or what they call, it's called COVID-19. You got the COVIDs? So I'm going to let's start doing some new buzzwords. People on Twitter are going to freak out because I'm talking shit like this, but, you know, that dumpster fire in itself, that's a whole nother fucking story. You got the COVIDs. What's that? You got the vid. You got the COVIDs. Damn it, Bobby! Wipe your nose. You're gonna get the COVID. Anyways,
stop spreading all that snot around.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross little kids with their snot.
Washington State is already shutting down schools.
Yeah,
exactly. That's like crazy shit right there. You guys go ahead, just like all the news you can pop it in the chats and I'll read them out loud, because right now we're kind of I don't know.
we kind of have some shop talk right now at the station and on the main page, and we're kind of like, whatever. Meanwhile, the space page guys are like zipped up in their fucking suits about ready to take off in Falcon 9.
So the chemical page
They're like,
guys.
see ya! Hey, where you guys going? You gotta, we can run the page from space, Ice, So far, all those...
They closed down the schools in Daegu, too. Like the Dodd schools.
That's right, they did. I
told the girl about that because, she went to the school once upon a time. She's like, that's not fair. I want school closed.
Yeah, but people
like, sorry.
Diseases, though. If anyone has been killed outside the flu, see, there you go. There's people that are thinking. Joshua thinks it's a bunch of alarmists. See, I would assume by that comment that it would be an alarmist type of comment right there. Don't you think? I mean, I don't. I wouldn't say that. That's not a. I don't know. Let me see.
I mean, it's another, like I said, like SARS, bird flu.
Oh my God, they bird flu. Yeah, it said SARS was going to kill
Bieber.
It said SARS was going to kill everybody.
Right.
Can't believe WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments is so irresponsible by talking like this. Meow, 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 meow. For you guys on Twitter.
Not the boss of me.
You're not the boss
Twitter.
in Twitter, exactly. You realize
did you see like what I posted earlier about like the Diet Coke supplies might get interrupted?
Yeah, what's up with that?
No, that's a national goddamn emergency.
That is a national emergency. Yeah, if we start, Buffalo Wild Wing sauce, what else? Anything that has
the ingredients that make it. Like, I guess the supply of that could like get disrupted. And I lost my shit. I went and bought like 4 or 5 cases today. And
so
I
you went to
go
hoarding?
I didn't have anybody help me carry it.
Did you know that there are people that are saying that it's bad for you? There's like, it's like a hoarding privilege now to say that you shouldn't be hoarding food. That's like another thing to get pissed off about. Which I think is funny as hell. If you're not gonna freaking, anyways, God, man, it's.
I'm not gonna hoard food. I'm like, I always have like a backup emergency supply. That's
right.
Just,
I got enough.
Not like prepper level for a year or anything.
No, but I got enough for a couple weeks for me and Baby Ice to sustain ourselves with some shin ramen, goldfish, fruit snacks, chicky nuggies, waffle fry. He's the king of chicky nuggies, waffle fries. I need to get some stuff for tacos de carne asada for me to make, and some chorizo and eggs. A case of Tecate will be pretty good, So I don't know I don't know why everyone's freaking out. You're just hanging out, and it's like one of those things where you're kind of like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens. But at any rate, so COVID-19. Is what the name of the coronavirus actually is. It's the scientific name for it. And if they did not fit the profile of a possibly infected person, which we still don't know what the hell that is, all of those so far diagnosed with the virus have a pattern of travel or returning from a country suffering from an outbreak. See, that they didn't say community spreading on that one. They said outbreak. You know what I mean?
They didn't try to cover it up. And,
there were
use nice words.
There was name of Bobby. Why did you cover that shit up? Of the 60 diagnosed cases of coronavirus in the United States, 40 tested positive after being evacuated from a cruise ship. The CDC also told CNN, CDC, come on, WTF Nation Radio, shoot the shit with us and give us an upbrief. I mean, we have some reach. We know some people. We can help out. The CDC told CNN they believe the case was significant because it marked the beginning of an uncontrolled spread within the continental United States. So they're not going to say it's a plague. They're not going to say it's an epidemic. They're going to say it's an uncontrolled community spread. The outbreak of truck nuts, exactly. The truck nut spread.
Wash your hands, y'all. Please. That's it. Like any other common cold or flu or anything else.
Listen how the CDC official talks about it, though. Quote, it suggests that the virus is out there in the community and it means pretty much that everybody's at risk. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? We don't know who might be carrying it, but we don't know what we can get from it. Oh my God, dude! These guys at the CDC, the patient probably exposed other people. What the hell's going on, dude?
Well, of course they expose other people. They don't know they're sick. I mean, again, like I said, I'm not all freaking out over it except for the Diet Coke part. But
right,
it's already gotten here. It's going to keep spreading. Like I know there's cases that are quarantined in San Antonio. That. From the first people they evacuated out of China, the Americans over there. And so if you have a couple that are sick, they were all on the same plane together, right. I think it's just going to be does it affect everybody? Just if I get in the room with someone with the flu, does that necessarily mean I'm going to catch flu? I'm probably going to be carrying it, but I may not get symptoms from it.
Right, exactly.
But I can still pass it to someone else.
Exactly.
I just don't have the immune system that is going to fight it off better.
Right. Well, I mean, I think if you there you go. There you go, Recruiter Times. Damn, 3 Cletus supplies better not get us. We're trying to get the brewery up for 3 Cletus. Damn it. What's your opinion? What's the future? Do you see in overall military numbers with the lack of people wanting to join? I don't know, Trace. What do you think it is? What do you think? Why would you say that? Give us what you think it is. Well, what would it be? Would you see the overall military's number and the lack of people wanting to join? What makes you people don't want to join? Is it this page or something like that? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. In this area, they don't seem to have a problem.
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of people we're trying to get rid of. Exactly that. We have too many people as it is. There's some people that want to get the fuck out. That should get the fuck out. So, yeah, exactly. Cause community
to China.
Yeah, community. Yeah, community spread means that there's a barbecue and other food related events. Exactly. That's what I mean. Exactly that. I want a community spread. Hey, do you go on this community spread? Wow, what I got? I got chicken wings. I got a fucking rack of ribs, and you can get some steak. You can get some tacos de carne asada. You got like freaking. Oh hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah! Food truck like shit. Food. This is a community spread. Not no freaking barbecue.
How do we get on food? I'm so hungry now.
Right, exactly. I know. How do we always get back? Yeah, we always get back. Anyways, there's individuals, Trace, that need to get out. There are individuals that usually skate by through the system that should be out or kicked out, but due to shady leadership or unit leadership that doesn't want shit to be seen, there's a second and third and fourth order effect sometimes on a unit not wanting to be put on U.S. Army WTF moments or Army times and all that. So we kind of applaud the other organizations that like to invite us out and we engage them and all that. And of course we poke fun a little bit on some of the other military units, but there's some individuals that need to get out. They need to go. Straight auction thieves, about as useful as wet toilet paper. That's about it. You know what I mean? They're about welfare soldiers and shit. There's some soldiers that the old days of you staying in a freaking place and PCSing to places where you can avoid a deployment or something like that need to go. And then there's only you're right. This is only one of the few jobs you can get a pension for 20 years. And then the way the pension's set up, you can get another pension, right, bro? I don't know. I'm not an expert in the blended retirement system because I retired on the damn your old retirement system.
Yeah, I had the 50 at 20 type.
They're like, what the hell is this? Damn, Ice, you freaking dude. Where's your we couldn't find your
that
record.
High 3?
Exactly. Is that what's before High 3? Damn, dude, you got the World War II retirement plan and shit, or the Korean War. I'm just playing. I'm not that old. But no, yeah, there's some units out there that there are some. See, the way the Army and everyone, we just had a conversation about how the U.S. Marine Corps, what they do to what we would consider like if the Marine Corps if we were to adopt the Marine Corps' methodology on how they handle the regulations and enforcement of discipline, the Army would freak the fuck out. Even though, believe it or not, if you dig into the regulation, there are some things in the regulation that are administratively done in the Army that some people would think that would be fucked up. You don't have to get promoted, believe it or not. You don't have to. There is no requirement where you say you meet a specific time and grade and rank, and then you deserve to get promoted. You can actually stop that if you're a leader. You can actually, I mean, that's exactly that. See, people are just exactly that. Too lazy to do the paperwork. Exactly what it is. They're too lazy to get the paperwork. Then there are some individuals right now that are probably, you know what? Look at your left and right in your organization, WTF Nation, all you sergeants out there. Ooh, what if you get pregnant from your sergeant major? Do you have to deploy then? Ooh, damn.
Well, pregnancy gets you out of deployment.
Well, a pregnancy does get you out of deployment, but exactly depends on what's the deal with the specifically with the situation. If the unit wants a highlight, of course, our DMs are open, and our condition and policy with the WTF Nation is all of our inbox and this conversations are all under the condition of anonymity.
Yes, but nobody tells on you.
But nobody will tell on you from the WTF Nation. Gotta have that baby in Kuwait. That's right. That one baby in Kuwait that everyone was trying to deny that they said we made up that story. You know, there's a lot of that going on right now where people think we make shit up. Yeah, I'm just.
Do you have time for that?
I don't have time for that, dude. Do you have time for that shit?
I don't got time for that. I barely got time to make memes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there is some cases out there where that need to be. I don't know. There are some cases out there. So, anyways, going back to what I was saying, you were saying out there, Trace, about the paperwork. Exactly that. The non-recommended back in it's easy to do. It's actually easy to do when you have your paperwork, when you get it sent up to you, and you have a proper counseling packet. That's right. That's right, Trace. That is fucking right, Jonathan. Damn.
And then all it really takes is for the commander to circle no.
Right. All it takes is for the commander to say no.
I can't remember the form or the
117.
The report reading.
The
Yeah,
117.
one of those. All you gotta do is circle no. And the counselings are just a
right.
It's
that's all administrative,
an
right?
Requirement.
And so when
That's
soldiers, when a soldier,
sergeant major requirement,
right? And when a soldier fucking goes, First Sergeant, how come I'm not getting promoted? Because your counseling packet's fucked up. But wait, First Sergeant, the regulation says that you have to do a bar to reenlistment. Does
That's
it?
next, buddy.
Well, there you go. You have a bar to reenlistment until you unfuck your shit. How about that? Well, what happened if we stop the rapid PCS process? What about the rapid PCS process? There's individuals that are good with their organizations that are pretty good, and I think a good continuity level would be 3 to 4 years at the most. Depending on what kind of career field that you're in, that will have required. Like me, I was in an MOS that freaking kept me back and forth to Fort Bragg, and so,
right. And it's not about PCSing. I mean, I think it is about moving positions to get the career progression.
Correct.
You can still do that all on a major post.
Correct. You can still correct, but exactly that. I've seen that how E7 board has been pushed entire because they only have 2 years of our guys still to promote. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'll be honest with you, I think that sometimes the promotions are too damn fast. On that aspect. Why do you think
I think it all depends on the MOS, though.
Well, a lot of them, right, but a lot of them think that they deserve to be a fucking sergeant first class in 7 years.
See, I come from the MOSs that rarely happens, and if it does, that person has gone above and fucking beyond, and you can't fake that.
No, you cannot.
In my MOSs,
no, you cannot.
7 years is way fast, and there's just too much competition for that.
Right. So well, at that point, because you're saturated. Yeah,
I mean, I won't lie. It took me. I was at 15 years, and I know my break in service had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you have a break in service?
I got promoted to sergeant first class.
Yeah, and you had a break in service. Me, I spent most of my career as a master sergeant. I was a master sergeant in 12 years.
I was most of it as a staff sergeant. I made staff sergeant twice.
I dropped my promotable status to change MOSs, so that was a little hiccup, but yeah, I fast tracked to sergeant pretty quick, and then fast tracked to freaking from buck sergeant to, well, actually, because I dropped my promotional status to change my MOS, and then from 6 to 8, I just hit 12 years when I made master sergeant. So I stayed a master sergeant for the rest of my career until, not to the rest of my career, but I mean, obviously I made sergeant major, but you know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was just a while.
I mean, it even took me forever to make staff sergeant too, because my MOS, it was like at the time, 798 forever.
Right, exactly.
I got promoted with 794 points.
Right.
It finally dropped, and I just couldn't. I needed to go back to the range because that was the only place I was losing points. Because you had to have 50, or to get the 50 points at the time, you had to have expert.
Right.
And or 1.1. I can't remember.
Well, they bring up a good point. Exactly that. Avia Hill, what is a rapid PCS process? I mean, explain that, dude. Give us an example. Provide us a vignette. Give us a lead. Provide us, give us a meme on that. What is a rapid PCS process?
When you say rapids, I think ID cards, so you got me confused too.
Yeah, we do have one of our high speed WTF J1s in here. J1 NCO Spanky.
Done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
A lot of S1 stuff.
Yeah, I just love me. Yeah. That's because you're D-Max. Well, that's because you're D-Max.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right. God damn it, D-Max. What the hell's your problem? Anyways, hold on. Let me see if I can do W. Of course you can, ass. Anyways. Oh, the turnover rate. Yeah. Well, I mean, the turnover rate, dude, is like the, you know what? I mean, you can kind of have a turnover in your formation is insane. I mean, crew stays together, training's organized, all this other stuff. But you know, there's other commitments. I think the organizations, the higher organizations, need to leave the line units alone. There's a lot of staffs right now that they have currently bloated staffs. I mean, I think it was Jack Murphy that was talking about how over freaking, you know, there was like a BCT size with over, you know, generals had a, you know, a over bloated staff for Operation Inherent Resolve. So I think it's kind of like, it's one of those things where you have to have a good equation, an equitable amount of leadership in charge of those individuals, but everybody wants their fucking piece of pie. Everybody wants to have their excellence. Their, you know what I mean? So
yeah. They did the fencing, you know, for a while to try to keep units that are going to deploy within the next year or so to keep everybody in that unit. I don't know if they still do much of that, but a lot of units get fenced in just for that reason, so that the same crews, the same squads, the same teams are the ones that have been trained together, you know, all this time before heading up to a deployment. And they don't lift the fence until they redeploy. And then everybody leaves. And then
right. Well,
like it resets.
Right. I'm just kind of like, here's the thing. It's hard for me because, you know, I was never in like the big decision making stuff when it came to something like that. You know what I mean? You look at the bodies and stuff like that come down, and some of it also is from the schoolhouse too. By the time it gets to you, you know how many people are graduating from a specific schoolhouse, and that's when some of your specific branches are not training as many individuals. And also, of course, the way they integrate the reserve component and the active duty component, it's really messed up on how they do it. Most units serve pretty good when they have a reserve and active duty trace unit as well. But again, that's like far from few. USAREC fucking did that too. There's individuals. Well, there's units right now that still fence people that they want because they're realizing it was a bad idea, or maybe what's wrong with our unit? Do we have bad leadership? Well, I don't know. Your unit's bleeding the fuck out. Hello there, SVAB. Hello there, USAREC. You know,
like, let me out.
Well, yeah, and then they're wondering, we giving this guy money, how come he don't want to stay? You know,
fuck it, I'll go to Afghanistan, Korea, wherever.
Right, shit. Oh man, but
just let me out of Indiana.
But no, I mean, you really can't control some of that stuff, and like you were saying, Spanky, a lot of us depending on the MOS, a lot of us depending on what your career field is. I mean, if you're in MOS or career field that only goes to one spot in the Army, then you're kind of screwed up. You know what I mean? So, and also the way the manage of manage inside the S3 shop, you had guys sitting in the S3 shop. That was a mismanagement. You know, I served as an ops sergeant major, and I didn't have nobody but 18 months in my fucking S3 shop. Everybody knew when they were coming to the S3 shop, they're going to work for me for 18 months, and they were gone after that. And it was almost like a tour. I had some kids joking around like it was a short tour of Korea. You know what I mean? Like they had short timer calendars and shit.
Yeah, but then there's other side. That's what I was saying. I spent so many years in S3 because my last MOS, which was a 74 Delta, unless I'm in a chemical unit, that's where my slot is in the S3
Right. Right. I had
doing chemical stuff.
Yeah, no, not really. How about to say no? But we had like I said, I had kids that would come up there of different ranks too, from captain all the way down to sergeant, and they would be up there for 18 months, and then I'd okay. Until the first sergeant, hey guys, okay, time to bring out your dead. But yeah, I think if the burnout rate at a specific staff is due to the fact that you've had, maybe don't get me started on this SFAB, really. If you had a soldier that's been there forever and forever and forever, and the unit just, you ever see that one kid? You ever see that one specialist, or you have that one buck sergeant or that one staff sergeant that's really good at doing like fucking slides, or really good at doing some of the fucking USR shit, and they end up fucking just dogging the fuck out of this kid. Meanwhile, all those sidewalk soldiers go out and get fucking schools and go do shit.
Yes.
And they don't get that opportunity to go.
I always try to reward some of the kids that were serving me in the S3 shop by either getting them to go to a school or help them out to get to another organization they wanted to go to. You know, we would try to make it to where, hey, look, yeah, we saw, and me and the CSM would talk, and I had a great relationship with the CSM and the you know, the group CSM. You'd have to have a good conversation with the leadership, so that way the kids know that they're coming up there working, they're going to bust their ass, but they're also going to have some time to be rewarded when it comes for putting in their penance. You know what I mean? And they become better leaders when they get promoted in rank. So that way, when they become sergeant first classes and master sergeants and first sergeants themselves, they know what it's like to deal in the S3 shop. Fun fact: sergeant majors can't fence anyone. Bingo.
Yeah, that came from another comment. I'm like, no, they can't do that.
No, they can't do that.
I mean, yeah, they could probably call a friend who knows a friend.
And
they can get your orders deleted.
Well, here's how I would do things when it came to that type of engagement with other leaders. If there was a soldier that was kicking ass and all this other stuff and was a hot shot and was rocking and rolling, and you know, you treat all soldiers the same when it comes out. You give the soldier that's a hot shot the same soldier that did other time, and ask them where they wanted to go or all this other stuff. You didn't sit there and frick. It wasn't my job to fence. I'm not the command sergeant major. I was the ops sergeant major. So that right there, that's where sergeant majoring needs to get a little tweaked.
Command sergeant majors can't do it either.
They can't. Well, they can't do it either. But what I'm saying is that no, you're right. No, but what I'm saying is that once they've done their time and they're up, they're going to be up, and then I'd tell the companies, that's what he said. Well, he's wrong. Well, he's wrong. Going to school, fancy people to go for going to school like Sharp because he said he wants to get his investment out of you. That's wrong. He wants to get the investment. The investment out of you was you going up to be in the S3 shop. That was the investment that they had. The investment to you was to go to the S3 shop, pay your freaking penance, and that's it. And then that is the investment. The investment is to the Army, not to me. You get my investment out of you. No, that's wrong. I mean,
like other units won't need sharp reps.
Right? Yeah, I'm about to say. Then that's when you go move that troop out to be a freaking whatever. How many of them reached out to Sergeant? I've reached out to all of them. I had no qualms. I didn't give a shit. Now, granted, CSM might get a phone call. Damn, dude, who's this fucking?
Hell, mine did. I used to yell at my branch manager
all the time. Yeah,
he hated me.
Hey, Ken, did you go talk to so and so? I did, Sergeant Major. God damn it, dude. Well, I mean, you know, blah blah blah. And then they would laugh and giggle and all this other shit. It'd be funny, but how we would have a dialogue. Once they had hit their mark and they've had the replacement already trained up, there was no need for me to keep them there. I don't understand how leaders hoard people like that. I hate that crap. I hate that shit. Because then that's why we see people. That's why we see videos and posts on the main page of Joe just hanging out in freaking team rooms. Evan, how you doing from Camp Hovey, dude? Damn. Whoa, wait a minute. You got the Thrax, bro? You all right? Everything? You got the?
Oh, he's up north. He should be okay still. It's all a little down south now.
Oh, okay.
Hovey's like way up there.
Is it?
Evan
okay.
should be good.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, hello from Camp.
I hope it isn't getting up there. But,
right. Well, thank you.
Travel.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, exactly. Wash your hands, dude. Do elbow bumps or something like that. Fist bumps or something.
Don't touch anybody.
Yeah, don't touch anybody. Yeah, exactly. Actually, just keep your hands to yourself. Use hand sanitizer.
Sit in your room, drink beer, listen to us.
Right. Thank you so much. But the Thrax, I know what it is, man. It's COVID-19. It's COVID-9. So real quick then. So now what happened is that CENTCOM is suspending leave and liberty for troops over the coronavirus fears. And so right now, currently, CENTCOM said today that it was suspending leave and liberty for troops in the DoD civilians that to and work within its area of responsibility over fears related to the spread of the coronavirus. Central Command is making multiple prudent measures to prevent the transmission of COVID-19. COVID-19. Just like saying like COVID-19.
Say it again.
COVID-19. God damn it, it's COVID-19. Anyways, exactly. If you won't cash, you will build them an immunity. That's right there, Jake Board. You will build an immunity if you drink Tecate. You don't have to worry about this stuff. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Coronavirus to mitigate the operational risks such as transmission that could pose, and that's what CENTCOM told Military Times in an emailed statement. They also said in a memo obtained by Politico that official travel or leave outside the CENTCOM area of operations was not affected. The suspension to leave of liberty of American troops across the Middle East
first reported by Politico, comes as a New York Times report Thursday that of an explosion of coronavirus cases in Iran. Dude, Iran! What the fuck? Somebody who's going to China with
Like,
Iran.
who's traveling to Iran?
Who the hell's going on? Exactly. Wait a minute. Didn't Iran just talk about not having a? They said they don't want nobody to show up there. They're not, because
Like, stay the fuck out.
yeah, there's like post a travel ban or some shit. And you got
Like, I seriously want to know who's the fucker that went to Iran and, like, start spreading it around there.
Chris brings up a good point. They better not see any red Metro slides in Korea. Coronavirus is not an excuse for every person. That's right. It's not an excuse. You ever notice you're never updated on fucking Metro slides no matter what? You could just have gone to go get your HIV blood drawn and fucking get your immunizations, and you will still, you gotta get your shit.
Oh, I know this.
I don't know how many times I got freaking shots, but they keep repeating themselves, and they wouldn't believe it. And here I'm holding a printout sheet, and they wouldn't believe it. They thought I like faked it because we know how to do that stuff. And yeah, man. So, anyways, New York Times reported that citing the Iranian government, there were 245 cases, and that 26 people have died from the virus. Health experts argued the numbers. Cos brings up a good point. These are places that normally do not practice good hygienic measures anyways, right? And their diets are kind of like messed up or some shit. Isn't like you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that in Korea. I mean, they have I would say a pretty healthy diet, probably way healthier than what we eat.
Really?
Yes. I mean, like mostly rice, vegetables, seafood, and then meat. So, I mean, there's a lot of soju involved in all this, but I'm sure that
I was about to say there's
stuff.
there's some like that. I mean, I tried some soju from back. Somebody shipped it back from Korea when I was stationed at Fort Hood, and they were like, "Oh my god, dude!" And it was good as shit. I was like, "This is kind of good." But anyways,
but no, I wouldn't say that. I'm like, I don't know about the men, but I lived in Daegu. I lived off post in Daegu the first half of my third tour in Korea. And, I'm like, go to the women's bathroom in public places all the time. People wash their hands, so I don't know how it is in the men's restroom, but, I'm like, so I wouldn't see that. I not in Daegu anyway. I don't know about all the small town country people in Korea.
Small town country people.
I mean, Daegu is a huge,
small town country
city.
Small town country people.
I mean, they do got small towns in Korea too. But like I said, that Daegu is huge, packed city. It's like, I don't know, like the third largest city in Korea, and I mean, it's just a fraction of the size of Seoul, but it's packed. Like, that's why I didn't drive. I only drove to work because I couldn't handle it.
I was just thinking about when you said small town. I was thinking about Old Town Road song. I was thinking about that Sam Elliott commercial.
I like the commercial, but I hate that fucking song.
Yeah. I got the horses in the back.
Oh God, I hate that song.
No, I just thought it was funny that Sam Elliott even said the lyrics. You know what I mean? I got the horses in the back.
Did you have your hot toddy or something?
No, why?
Okay, I don't know. Because you brought up the Old Town Road.
Oh no, I'm not gonna
start dancing.
No, I'm not gonna start dancing or singing right now. No, at the moment. Maybe I should move the studio to where it's like one of those stand up. You know how the stand up desks are. Maybe I should put the studio like that so I can have a video of me just standing there dancing like,
I'll allow it. I ain't gonna do it, but I'll allow it.
My head is matte black.
Like right now, I'm broadcasting live, like from my bed. Not getting up and dancing.
Oh man. What was I saying? Oh yeah, shit. So what was it? Yeah, so they're talking about 245 cases and 26 people have died from the virus, and the health experts argue that the numbers in Iran are likely higher, of course, because they're not going to admit there's something wrong. The coronavirus has spread through the Middle East to Bahrain, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Kuwait, and Lebanon, among other locations, and travelers have returned from Iran. Dude, isn't this is like freaking lock shit down, man. Lock shit down. So there's right now a soldier in Daegu, currently stationed in South Korea, as the first service member to test positive for the coronavirus. And it was a day after the widow of a retired soldier living in Daegu, South Korea, contracted the virus, according to U.S. Forces Korea. The soldier, who was 23 years old, was stationed in Camp Carroll near Daegu, visited Camp Carroll between the 21st and the 25th of February, neighboring Camp Walker on the 24th, and he's currently being quarantined in his home off base. That's right. Don't be bringing that shit on post.
Free time off.
I was about to say, dude.
I'm gonna have virus.
Hey, Troop, you need to give us a call. WTF Nation Radio, just give us a call. Just shoot us a message, man. We'll connect on the Scaps. And then a military official with Indo-PACOM told the Military Times that the combatant command is being diligent to keep troops safe and mitigate the spread of the virus. More exercises could be canceled in the coming days, though.
Oh yeah, it's about to be March. It's like
That's like some sort of
full
fucking
legal
full legal
twice a year.
teen spirit or something like that. What was that?
Yeah, whatever they want to call it now. But
Cobra
March
Gold or
and
something?
August,
Yeah.
that's when they have their big exercises. Like everybody goes on GO1.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Everyone goes on.
Shitty 3
Yeah,
weeks.
that's exactly that. Now, here's another thing too. But they already had Cobra Gold kick off on Tuesday, so it's kind of like, all right, good luck. May the odds be in your favor.
Yeah, well, with the big exercise that they have in March, like people come from everywhere, like reservists, guard. Like there's so many taskings that are put out. Like soldiers are coming from all different kinds of posts TDY to come to do that exercise in Korea. And you ask me, no, that's not a good idea. Like, can totally cancel this fucking exercise. Life will go on. Everybody still knows how to do their job. EOC still know how to run. We don't have to pretend to fight North Korea on, computers for 3 weeks. I don't think the risks I think the risks outweigh the rewards for this exercise.
Yeah, well,
that's, Spanky's opinion.
Well, of course, the 5,500 U.S. troops are participating in this year's exercise, along with the troops from countries in Thailand, Singapore, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and South Korea. So those are the countries that are hit hard by the coronavirus. I'm a bitch when I get the man flu anyways when it comes to freaking, you know what I mean? Could you imagine? But
I put you on mute.
I know, dude. Yeah. I know. I remember you were like, shut up, Ken. I used to have.
I do. I put people on mute when they're sick. It's the men folk. Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's right. I'm a man flu survivor. That's right. But when I get it, though, I couldn't imagine. I'm in a controlled environment, but I couldn't imagine being like in a tropical environment where you're out there in the jungle training and shit, and you get sick. Oh, yeah, man.
In a tent or a cot.
Yeah, cot.
If you're lucky, barracks with 500 other people.
Yeah, they have the COVIDs as well. It's very irresponsible for WTF Nation Radio on Twitter to talk about the COVIDs like it's a nuke. Through strict adherence to the health protection force measures, of course, and a comprehensive mitigation strategy, I'm pretty sure they'll be good to go, right? Currently assessing the risk, that remains low. That's what the Marine Corps Captain George Arthur said, for a spokesman for Cobra Gold, the 2020 Combined Joint Information Bureau. They got a Combined Information Bureau? Oh, wow.
Of excellence.
Of excellence. I was about to already. They already got them shit set up.
They probably got coins.
Yeah, already. Exactly. Following the cases. And another thing, too, there's also cases that are going across Vicenza, Italy, where the U.S. has 7,000 troops. The U.S. European Command also took precautions by including the closure of DoD schools. Little crumb snatchers. Those are the worst ones. That's like when you take your kid to school or you take them to daycare, and you got that one parent that decides to be, is it worth?
Like, my kid's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like my kid's got like snot bubbles blowing out and can talk, and has got like freaking their eyes looking like they got punched in the fucking. They got two black eyes and stuff. And is it really worth freaking everyone out this early? Is it really freaking somebody out, Josh? Though,
are you freaked out?
Yeah,
I'm not freaked out.
I'm not freaked out. That's what I'm saying. Is it really?
But they are closing schools.
Yeah, they are closing schools. So that's kind of like the truth. Or is it freaking? Or is it? I'm not saying that you're freaking out. What I'm saying though is that I don't think it's causing any. I don't think this informing the public should be causing panic. It should be just exactly that, informing the public. And if that's what's happening, then do it. You know what I mean? Inform the public.
And I don't think it's like even if you don't stop the exercise, I don't think there's, like I said, risk outweighs reward. You could still have the exercise without flying all those people in TDY.
Right, exactly. But
it can all still be done.
Right. We're going to continue this. We're going to take a break right quick because we may or may not have Jim Laporta call us up from Newsweek, or actually he's now. Yeah, we'll get more story on that if he calls in. But if he doesn't call in, no biggie. We'll continue with the show. But we want to thank you guys already for for joining us for SGT'S Time. So stay tuned, everyone, and we'll get some shouts and get your hot toddies ready and go wash your hands.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Hello, mama. Hello, daddy. I've got something that I've never said before. Went down south of the border. Now life, it's got a little harder for me. I fell in love with some girl. She told me that she was gonna rock my world. Now I'm stuck here with no money. Don't that just sound a little funny for you? Well, her name was Maria. She told me she was always by my side. Went home one evening. She was with another man. He tried to run and hide. I pulled out my 45. I told them that I was gonna take their life. Now I'm stuck here on the run. I don't know the animal I have become, so won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Well, I know life is short. Mom, you know I always try to do my best. Should've listened when you told me I wouldn't be caught in this mess. Gotta go now, Dad, I'm sorry. Everybody, all y'all need to know this is life, a true story. When you chase ass down in Mexico, save me, save me. Won't you save me, save me, save me, save me. Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you please put me out of my little misery?
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back with the last part of Sergeant's Time on this 27 February 2020. Broadcasting live from the WTF Nation Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. At any rate, okay, so let's go back to the Rona here. Let's back to the coronavirus. So now they like closed down the schools in the European Command. Schools closed Monday from K through 12 at U.S. Army Garrison, Italy, in Vincenza. Oh man, that place is an awesome place to stay. Man, have you ever been there before?
No,
oh,
no.
God, man.
I think I landed somewhere near there once, but no, I never got to go anywhere.
Oh, that place is the shit, man. Oh, that's an awesome joint. I love that place. Anyways, U.S. Army Garrison Italy has encouraged families in the Vincenza military community to stay close to home and minimize interaction with crowds such as malls, movie theaters, restaurants through 1 March. Is that like an expiration date or something like that? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean?
Right?
It's like, did they know something? It's like, wait a minute, does somebody know something? It's like, we're not talking about a gallon of milk here that's going to go expire. We're talking about a virus, right? So, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I'm like, yes, coronavirus is over 1 March.
Yeah,
We're good.
We're just going to go ahead and tell these people to, stop and, but really, are you going to, really going to do this? Is there an
In all
expiration
honesty, it
date?
probably just makes them feel good to have a date, even if they have to keep extending the date.
You notice that they don't really do that as well when it comes to marking the bad weather and saying that we should go home even though there's cars sliding off the highway. I saw World War Z. Is that what they want to wait? They want to wait for like World War Z to happen and shit before they start. Okay, guys, that's probably going to be some sergeant major doing that. See, the one time, you know what I mean? How come they don't do shit like that?
Right. Now would be the time they should tell everybody to go home.
Yeah, they should be telling everybody it's time to go home, guys. It's time to go home. Sergeant just said we can't go home unless you have a PT belt. Then you obviously. God. Anyways,
we still gotta do the CCFT. Then after that.
Oh my God, I know. Wouldn't it be crazy? People get. Hey, I got corona. I've been diagnosed. I wonder if that soldier in Daegu has to take the ACFT now. He's probably read on MedPros and shit. He's probably gonna get in trouble for not having his PT belt. But
right.
But anyways, Lieutenant Commander.
I hope he.
Go ahead.
In all honesty, I hope he gets recovers very soon and.
Right.
But a 23-year-old soldier, I hope. I mean, he should be fine once he recovers.
It's like a story in a lifetime to be the only soldier in Korea to get the coronavirus, and he got it. You know what I mean? It's like a. Does he get like a 4-day pass afterwards or something like that? Or could you imagine being told to stay home? I'd be finishing.
Yes.
I'd be finishing Xbox games left and right.
I mean, some of my best binge watches and like love of TV.
Yeah,
I'm like, I gotta stay home for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
fuck, what do I do?
Exactly. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Who's this?
This is James Laporta.
Oh damn! What is going on, Jim? How you been?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you talk a little bit on your mic, or are you driving? Are you Bluetoothing?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Here, let me change it.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah. Don't be screaming at us and shit. But anyways. So what you been up to, man?
Just job hunting.
Oh, okay, yeah, real quick. WTF, if you guys don't know James Laporta is like, he likes to be right on his stuff. He was the senior military defense reporter for Newsweek. Has come on to WTF Nation Radio a couple times, and we have had meetups and discussions with him off air and whatever. So. So, dude, is this a story that we could talk about right now? Because we're broadcasting on Twitter too, so you can actually kind of say, "Hey, look, I have this gig going on." I was talking to Ken. So what happened? What happened? Come on, are you in an NDA like Bloomberg?
I'm a little bit of an NDA, but it was for how do I put this? journalistic principles and ethics. So I figured it was time for me to move on. So yeah, I can't talk about it too much. I have to sort of look at my contract to see what I can say. But yeah, that's generally of what it was over.
Okay.
Journalistic principles and ethics. I have very strict policies, just me personally as a journalist.
Right.
That, and so, you know, there's just lines that I won't cross. You know, what can I say generally? Generally, there's way too much. Generally, there's way too much people doing opinion and people presenting their opinions, and there's not enough people doing just facts. And those two sectors need to always have a wall between them.
Right.
Opinion should never be blending over to the facts, and the facts should never be blending over to opinion.
Right.
Well, in terms of opinion should never be bleeding over to facts. You know, those walls need to be mutually exclusive.
Right.
And there's just, you know, that's a line that, again, there are many people out there who really just want news analysis. They just want the facts presented to them. You know, people are not dumb. And it's not, and journalists and media outlets should not treat the readership as being as such, you know. And so what they need people is just, here are the facts, you make up your own opinion. I'm not there to, reinforce someone's ideology or to make up decisions for their own life, you know. So that's what I'm going to say generally.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you. No, I got you, man. I know if you're under a, yeah, I mean, if so where are you going to go? Are you going to go to? I mean, what opportunities did you have? Because you know we're gonna retweet this and we're gonna like live tweet this or something like that. Dude, we need. I think that probably the reason why we've had a good reception with you and Paul and the rest of the crew and Haley is that and it's really just been like I was telling you guys before, like kind of like the trifecta for us. You know what I mean? And so have you talked to Jim? I mean, have you talked to Paul? Hey, Paul, hire Jim. There you go. How about that?
Paul actually reached out. Yeah, he did reach out.
Awesome.
Him and a couple of other news outlets. So like I said, I'm not gonna be out of it now.
No, I got you.
I'm going to get back to exactly what I was doing before. But I just figured I'd call in and see what WTF Nation was doing.
Yeah, dude, well, we appreciate it, man. You still have a home with us, man. You can anytime you want to shoot the shit or anything you want to bounce off, you know you got us to talk to. So,
yeah. What's the topic of conversation today?
Well, we were talking about how CENTCOM just suspended the movement for leave and liberty for the coronavirus fears, and then we went over the fact that Cobra Gold's still kicking off, even though they're having it with over 5,500 troops in freaking Thailand. And then
right.
the soldier, there was somebody that I guess there was a incident or possible suspension of schools in the Vincenza military community as well. And so they're up until and then we were just me and Spanky were just talking about this, like it's up to March 1st. I'm like, what, does this thing have a freaking expiration date or something like that? Or is this, is there something that we're not knowing about, whatever? Is this kind of like, well, okay, so are we getting the right? I know you published a story earlier. Okay, real quick. For you guys at WTF, you don't know, we talk back and forth about stuff. Me and Jim talk about a lot of shit. And Jim asked me if there was anything that he had heard about some stories going on. Well, there's some rumors going around about the way that these individuals are being treated when they're getting evacuated. And the there was some public affairs guidance about being called other than, what was it, evacuees or
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's a FRAGO, which for people who don't know, a FRAGO is a fragmentation order, which is a tranche. It's an amendment to a overarching operations order. So you can, it's a FRAGO will come out when something's been changed or something's been added or something's sort of been moved around for the original operation order. So that's basically what a FRAGO is. And so in the FRAGO, there was public affairs guidance that was given to U.S. service members who may come in contact with people arriving from Wuhan, China. And what it was they were the guidance was that they would only be referred to as passengers and evacuees. And apparently the backstory to this is that, military circles, there is a dark humor that happens, that goes on. It's not uncommon. You go back to as far back as World War II, there's always been sort of that dark humor sort of factor in military circles.
Yeah.
And, there's since, 9/11, there's been a rise of zombie movies and, The Walking Dead. And
yes.
Resident Evil. And so, as you can imagine, people, service members started referring to some of the people arriving from Wuhan, China as the infected, which is a reference to the Last of Us video game.
Love it. I love it.
T virus, which is a Resident Evil reference.
Right.
I'm sure there was probably some Rick Grimes references.
I'm about to say, yeah, because rumor was like infected and walkers and all the.
Yeah, and that caught the attention of Lieutenant General Richardson, Laura Richardson, who is the commanding general of U.S. Army North, which falls. U.S. Army North is they are the primary unit responsible for dealing with the Defense Department's response to coronavirus.
Right.
They fall under U.S. Army, U.S. Northern Command.
Right.
And so it was one of those sort of like, that's not surprising that order had to come down. And,
I could just imagine that. You just imagine being like on the staff and you're like just breaking balls in a conference room and you're all laughing and you're just like, how many, like literally like, I wonder how many, because I've worked in a staff before, joint staff and a joint staff as well. I could just not even imagine like somebody doing some parody slides or some shit, you know what I mean? Or some jokes or, dude, I would have lost my shit. I would have loved to have been in there to talk about infected or walkers, and then seeing some of the senior ranking officers lose their shit about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, the other rumors going around. Speaking of parody and stuff like that. A couple of the we actually did do a story on this at Newsweek before I left. Was there? It was interesting. The U.S. Army North was monitoring state-owned Russian media channels, specifically on Twitter and social media, to see if they were, pushing disinformation about coronavirus or trying to hype up the threat, And so, they were monitoring, Russia Today, RT, they were monitoring Sputnik and a couple of other channels. And what was interesting about that is on the PowerPoint presentation, there was this illustration of Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, with this like outstretched like hand, and it was like he was like sending like tweets and YouTube videos and Reddit threads out into the world,
Whoa.
And so the rumor was, when we published those documents, the rumor is that Lieutenant General Richardson was not too happy about that someone had included that photograph of Putin on a U.S. Army slide.
What was the
I'm not sure what the big deal was. It was from the photograph itself, it was like from an open source site,
right,
that was tracking what the social media what social media was doing,
right,
especially those accounts. So I'm not sure what the anger factor is, but
right. Yeah. Now it's kind of funny because there was just recently a story released about how in Kansas City, Missouri, there was an affiliate of RT being played in Kansas City, like an affiliate station. You know how RT has their broadcast station set up in Washington D.C. Well, now they just opened up another affiliate in Kansas City, Missouri. KCMO, not the other Kansas City, but the Kansas City.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I think they now actually have to register with the State Department as a foreign agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. And what it is the guy that owns the station, kind of like he just got paid. I mean, he's like, yeah, I thought this station was gonna, I thought this was gonna kind of, peter out or something like that. And so now he's got Russian broadcasts going on in
you know, RT, dude, I when I first heard the story, I'm like, you got to be kidding. Are you like for real? Especially in the heartland, Kansas City, Missouri. They agreed to play it, and it's just for hours a day, and I'm just kind of like, 6 hours a day, you're gonna get Russian, you know, from Sputnik News being sent to the heartland, and everyone's kind of like, you know, this is fine, whatever, you know.
You know, it's not surprising. You know, I remember, what was it about? There's a story that I was pursuing. I might try to pick it back up now that I got a little more time. I have a couple of sources on this. There was, about a year ago, the U.S. Army was standing up U.S. Army Futures Command, which is, I can't remember, it's sort of out in the middle of nowhere. It's sort of like...
No, it's Futures Command is in Austin. The station. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, they were trying to stand up U.S. Army Futures Command, which is, you know, and they were already. I had a couple sources telling me that they were already getting attacks originating from China and originating from Russia, and it's sort of interesting now that that's happening with Futures Command. That now it's sort of already coming out that the U.S. intelligence community is assessing that perhaps Russian is already. Specifically Russia, you know, I'm not so sure about China, but specifically that they're already starting to try to influence, you know, the 2020 elections.
You think?
But I remember about a year ago, yeah, exactly, yeah. But about a year ago, hearing that specific, but this one was specifically China that was actually starting to try to infiltrate the servers and systems of U.S. Army Futures Command. So I don't know. It's a lot of the cyber warfare spectrum. You know, the cyber sort of warfare and the cyberspace is definitely the future of warfare. You know, I don't. You know, I know we're trying to surge up the Navy with I think it's 355 ships, but
right.
And you know, Defense Secretary Esper is looking for more fast attack submarines, and it's like, I don't think we're in that sort of war anymore.
Right.
You know,
do you think
it really is? I think it's these proxy wars that are
right. I was about ready to say,
really
yeah,
cyberspace.
Exactly. That shit's crazy though, man.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to get into the tech, but it's also kind of scary too of what they're trying to get involved with, and when people don't realize what they're doing, you know what I mean? They're just kind of like, I don't know. It's one of those. I guess unless you're, it's almost like, I don't want to sound like the old man yelling at a cloud, but I'm an old man yelling at a cloud when it comes to that cyber stuff.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
it's beyond my capability. I mean, I'm an infantry guy, you know. So when I started hearing that the infantry units out at 29 Palms in California is starting to train in electromagnetic spectrum warfare, I glazed over. I didn't even know. I was like, "What? I don't even know what that means."
What is that supposed to mean exactly?
You know, I was like, you know, is that, you know, are you jamming, you know, signals from radio, radio IEDs? You know,
right.
Like that. That's all I could think of. You know?
Right.
But you know, so you know, warfare is definitely changing. You know, the nature of war never changes, but the warfare, the tactics, you know, techniques, procedures, that they are changing, but. I don't, you know, there is a thinking, you know, the great, you know, the Defense Department's moving towards, you know, great power competition, you know, and with that, that's why they're trying to up our, you know, the U.S. Navy. They're trying to develop the skills of its land forces within the U.S. Army and the Marine Corps, you know, but I don't, you know, there is a minority thinking that what is going to be prevalent in the future is more proxy wars and more, like we were talking about, you know, cyber warfare,
right?
And specifically, you know, this sort of leads into it, and hopefully we're not too all over the page with your
go for
listeners,
it, dude.
But you know, something that we were talking about is you had I was really interested to hear your take about. There's this idea of, should we create an information operations secretary? the Secretary of Information Operations.
That's scary, because the reason why I say that is, but we already have enough cabinet people already in our bloated bureaucracy in DC and there are so many competing factors in that would be a disaster. We already have. It's almost like saying we need to have a Secretary of Special Operations. We need to have a Secretary of Intelligence. Now we need to have a Secretary of. At what point it's almost like they're almost like emotional support animals and shit. You know what I mean? We're getting out of hand. With what we're gonna start posting in our cabinets, and we just need to allow the individuals that are in their specific fields to conduct their missions, because the DoD just released an IG report slamming PSYOP, and it just tore them apart. And it's not the guys and the gals on the ground conducting the missions; it is the individuals up at the top that are part of decision making. Jack Murphy just released an article saying how many people were deployed to SGT'S OIR, and how many for all these generals and staffs for what was the equivalent of one BCT. And so you really got to freaking, the way I see it is before we haven't even gotten we haven't even streamlined, or we haven't even flatlined, whatever buzzword you want to use. We haven't even gotten to the point where we can decide who the hell's in charge of doing it anyways in the military, let alone who are we going to have in there? Think about it. You're going to have somebody that has been slinging fucking lead this whole time and doesn't, like you just said, there's some things that I am myself involved in that work glaze over too. And so who are you going to have? Who are you going to bring that in there? You're going to bring somebody in there that's going to be all about, growing beards and blowing up shit and shooting guns and also the crap and understand. Or are you going to have somebody like a true cyber or true information? Because everyone thinks that cyber is people don't realize it's the platform. It's all it is the platform. It's the material within the platform is what is being used with PSYOP, CA, fucking IO, and all the other, type of electronic EM stuff, management and all that. There's a lot of pieces that go into that. It's not just a cyber. It's information. Because then you're going to have a competing. Because now when that secretary happens, who do you think is going to be fighting for that job? A former public affairs officer, or a former PSYOP officer, or former SF officer, or former somebody who may have realmed in that UW type of environment. And then of course you have a competing factor with who else is going to be some cyber individual who does not know the management and training of. They just know the tech. So it's really hard to pick a secretary of information, you know what I mean? It's we tried that too. We've already tried with we had with Donald Rumsfeld. We had the OSI, the Office of Strategic Influence. I got potential Sergeant's Time guests of individuals that have been served during the Rumsfeld era of that are going to come on and talk to me about that type of. And me coming in through the ranks myself and seeing the progress of it happening. I'm laughing because we're really reinventing the wheel with this shit. There have been a lot of organizations that have been deactivated and shut down that probably would have been able to help out, but because of building specific commands and building additional bureaucracies, then it wouldn't. You know what I mean? It wouldn't fucking. Why are we building an F-22? Well, because we have the F-22. No, but we're building another F-22. No, we need to have the F-22. They're repeating itself. There's over redundancy. We don't need a damn Secretary of Information Warfare. We just need the information warfare professionals to conduct their jobs at the ground, at the fifth domain level, I guess you would say.
Right.
So you got me on my rant. So
creating redundancies. I cover a lot of the Marine Corps. Because that's my home base, and I was a former Marine. And, the thing that I've been sort of asking people is, given the budget that the Marine Corps has, and given that, a place like Camp Lejeune isn't even, and the Marine Corps bases that were hit in North Carolina by the hurricanes, the recent hurricanes, caused, I think, over $5.6 billion. And so I'm thinking about the Marine Corps' budget, and I'm thinking about, all these repairs that need to be done, and the Marine Corps is trying to create its own organic cyber command, which I don't understand why the Marine Corps needs a organic cyber command when you already have U.S. cyber command.
Well, think about this, though.
You already have.
Everyone has, but right, Jim.
Command that does it.
Right. But Jim, think about it. Everybody, think about it. When SOCOM, think about MARSOC. Okay, why was MARSOC built?
the same argument is what the Marine Corps is using for MARSOC for their own cyber command. Our cyber, the Army has a cyber command. The Air Force has their own cyber stuff. They have their own, you know what I mean? So that's why the Air Force is really, really pissed off and adamant about getting started up with frickin' Space Force, because they had a space command and they thought they owned that I guess you would say key terrain. So the Marine Corps,
right.
The Marine Corps actually built and sent Marines out to Fort Bragg at JFK to develop and build their own PSYOP units, because they were what I'm tired of. They were tired of asking the Army Special Operations Command for PSYOP and military information warfare assistance. That's the whole thing. If you're not going to be tied to, if you're not going to let those soldiers conduct their mission because you want them to do something else, or you're not going to expand their technologies within that organization, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, I'm surprised the Air Force hasn't done it, are going to look at their own shit and go, okay, we're going to build our own. So teach us how to be a PSYOP soldier. Teach us how to be an information warfare soldier. Teach us how to be a cyber soldier. Okay, we've done that. Thank you for all your lessons. Now we're going to build our own shit. That's, you know what I mean? Do we have an international school of, I don't know, there's like the Naval Academy for Marines and Navy, right? And the Army's West Point or whatever, or Space Force, whatever you want to call it, or the Air Force Academy. So it's a lot of rice bowls, man. And it's frustrating because, being in that community for almost 20 years, just about 20 years, it pissed me off to see how we were starting to hit the precipice on a lot of shit. And then the next thing you know, it'd get kicked back because of somebody, no, let's build this command, or let's build another command, or we need to have individuals do this. We need to have individuals have another sense of look at it. Do you know the reason why the enemy uses high quality fucking movies now? That DMA, the DIMOC over guys at Fort Meade are finally able to teach there were some stalwart, there were some stubborn-headed freaking PA sergeant majors and PAOs that did not want to advance the community, and we were getting our asses kicked when it came to the call. Look at videos now that the Army puts out. Look at all the public affairs. Look at how those individuals do their multimedia now. It almost looks commercial quality. It wasn't like that 5 years ago. It was not like that 5 years ago. Somewhere along the line, someone said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna change." And the next thing you know, it took the right. It was access and placement to the right GO to see. Holy shit! How did you guys do that? Well, Specialist Smedlap did this, and this, and used his own camera to do that. And now those Comcam guys, those 25 Victors, have their own special Comcam kits. Stuff that little shit like that. It's the risk aversion for this whole process is in itself. Think about how many times, like right now, we have. Reserve PSYOP soldiers are about ready to start training at Fort Jackson. I can't wait to go visit it when it happens. And the first thing that everyone was talking about was all the scandals of PSYOP soldiers interning at CNN, PSYOP soldiers, burning bodies, and then one of those Marines, soldier burned bodies, or pissing on the Marines. They use them for leaflets. And a bunch of crap was talked about. It was never praised up of what it actually works. So, with me, that's my niche. As a matter of fact, some of the tactics, techniques, and procedures, and some of the practices that we've done. It's not spooky shit. It's off the shelf stuff.
Right.
But it's really frustrating when I hear, information warfare secretary for what? That's like having a public affairs secretary. That's like an emotional support animal. Right. Excuse me, this is my emotional support rhinoceros.
To switch gears and bring it back. Coronavirus, like we were talking, I know one of the concerns you and me talked about a lot, and that your listeners know about, is we've talked a lot about the U.S.-Mexico border and the deployment of U.S. active duty U.S. service members to the U.S.-Mexico border, and how the messaging around that deployment is very, held close to the chest. Public affairs officers down at the unit levels are not allowed to do their job. Everything has to be pushed up to U.S. Northern Command and to the Secretary of Defense's office, and so PAOs have felt very frustrated about not being able to speak on behalf of their units when it comes to the U.S.-Mexico border mission. I don't know if you saw the reporting today in the New York Times, but it seems like the same thing is about to happen with coronavirus.
Right.
Where they're going to, again, and what's interesting is it's the same unit. It's U.S. Northern Command, U.S. Army North. It seems like this to read in the New York Times today, one can extrapolate from that is that the U.S. Army North is going to fall in line with that, where they're going to start closing ranks, and it's going to be harder and harder to cover coronavirus.
Now, wasn't there,
especially from a Defense Department standpoint?
Right. Well, wasn't there an issue before where they had some information that was commonly released under General Oshak Hennessy and Oshak Hennessy? I like making fun of his name because of that Key and Peele movie, like Key and Peele, Oshak Hennessy.
Oh yeah.
So, but was it? I mean, there was
University of Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron. But there was an incident. There was a lot of information that was coming out when he was in command that immediately got squashed. All of a sudden, and you covered that a little bit about what information was flowing that was commonly unclassified. What happened from that?
Yeah. So, in regards to the U.S., October 2018, President Trump announces, deployments to the U.S.-Mexican border to assist the Department of Homeland Security in securing the border. So that starts in October 2018. And pretty much from October 2018 and going into 2019, I was steadily getting they were officially use only, but they were unclassified documents about exactly what the military was doing at the border, from an operational standpoint, and how exactly that they were assisting the Department of Homeland Security. And this is important for journalists to cover because of the Posse Comitatus Act, which is it's an 1800 sort of law, if my memory serves me correctly, that basically states that the military cannot be used as a law enforcement agency. They're not in the business of doing law enforcement, and so it's very critical to continue to keep eyes on this and to hold the military accountable to make sure that they are within the bounds of the law. But then there was a change of command. It was, General I'm going to butcher his name too now. No. General O'Shaughnessy. I think I'm
Oshak Hennessy.
Totally
Sorry.
Thank you. Oh yeah, Oshak Hennessy. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he was outgoing, and in came she's Lieutenant General Laura Richardson to replace him as the commander of U.S. Army North.
Right.
And the behind-the-scenes story is, there were a lot of leaks, and there were. I mean, granted, it was nothing incredibly egregious, but there were a lot of leaks.
Was it the same? But
command.
We're right, Jim. But was it the same type of information that you would normally have gotten through normal General Oshak Hennessy's his briefs? In other words, was it just common information that you would normally have gotten before in the past command?
Yeah. So
okay.
So this is stuff that if you look at. If they were holding regular, everyday press briefings,
right,
this is information they could have easily presented during the press briefings.
Got it. Okay.
There's nothing classified. There's no, I remember one public affairs officer when I was reporting on the U.S.-Mexico border. They're like, "You're stating where they got upset with my reporting. They were like, you're stating exactly where the troops are." I was like, "Yeah, they're in Texas." And they're in California,
right?
And they're in Arizona.
These
aren't
like you guys said before.
We're not talking Iraq or Syria or Afghanistan or
right.
Yemen.
Right.
These are. If I can drive to where the troops are, I'm not seeing the problem.
Right.
In terms of revealing where where their location is.
Right.
And so, basically, there's this information is coming out again. It's all unclassified. And it's not anything that the U.S. military would not present under normal circumstances, But for whatever reason, transparency it started to really erode under. It's sort of interesting to say that there was more transparency under President Bush's administration than there has been under the administrations of President Obama and President Trump.
Really? Wow.
It's sort of weird because at least under President Bush, you had embed.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
As a journalist, you can't even go on an embed to the U.S.-Mexico border. So Laura Richardson, Lieutenant General Laura Richardson comes in, becomes the commanding general of U.S. Army North, and she basically states that these leaks are going to stop. So what they do is they don't change the classification of the documents. They just simply migrate all those documents onto a classified system So NIPR, which is the non-secure Internet Protocol router, which holds all of our unclassified information.
Right.
They're moving unclassified documents. So they're not making the documents secret. They're simply just moving them onto a secret SIPR, which is the secret Internet Protocol router. They're moving them onto SIPR, therefore to limit the access of the documents.
So essentially they're getting unclassed documents from an unclassed system, moving it to a classified system, so that way those documents can't be leaked, to stop the leaks. That's basically what it is.
That's exactly right, and it doesn't mean the documents are now classified. They're still unclassified. They're just now on a classified system.
Right, and they have to and they also have to go through a declassification process to get them out. So now they have to go through.
Correct. So now we have to go through a declassification process for unclassified documents. That's what's just ridiculous.
Bro, you hurt my head.
And the information is stuff that can, and to be fair, U.S. Army Northern Command and U.S. Army North made the point that, well, you can go through the Freedom of Information Act. And for anybody who's ever, and that is true, I could get all these documents through the Freedom of Information Act. But for anybody who's ever used it, especially with the Army,
right?
And I will say this: out of all the services, the Army's probably the worst when it comes to FOIA.
Really? Wow.
Surprisingly, the Navy and the Marine Corps is really good. The Army and the Air Force are not the greatest, and the only reason is because they decided to do FOIA with their own system, and their system sucks, for lack of a better term. So, yeah, I could go through FOIA, but by the time I get the documents, I'm going to be a year and a half down the road. So, I have FOIA'd every single document for January 2020 in terms of what the U.S.-Mexican, in terms of what the Defense Department is doing for the border. And now we're about to go into March, and I still haven't gotten them.
Dude,
so, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to keep accountability. It's hard to keep the government accountable when, you know what I'm saying, when there is a timeliness factor. I guess I could hold them accountable, a year down the road when I finally get the documents. But, and again, just to reiterate, these are documents that are not classified. They're not, they're not even revealing.
Right. I was about to say. So this is. But again, right. I was about to say. But then again, this has been the same information that you would have been receiving already from the previous command, the previous chain of command, is what I'm saying. So in other words, there was no information flow until just recently, once you took command and all that. God, dude, that's insane.
So with all the leaks that were happening, the general never came in and said, let's move everything to the classified system. That didn't occur until Lieutenant General Laura Richardson came in. So
damn, dude. Everyone acts like the border stuff though is kind of like crazy, because if you're releasing the information, it's kind of like me and Spanky actually were talking about this when we were talking about the coronavirus evacuees from last week. We were talking about this, how isn't it kind of funny how everyone's in suits, but the people that are getting off of the aircraft were not in suits, and there was wind blowing on a tarmac. And I'm thinking, isn't that how you not are supposed to have somebody, come back from a freaking, from a quarantine area? And that was when a plane arrived from China. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, man?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And my fear right now, though, is that, the response to coronavirus is going to be treated the same way as the response to the U.S.-Mexican border mission, where it's going to be very hard for journalists to find out what is going on.
Right.
So, and I don't want to say that in terms of like trying to, cause an undue alarm about coronavirus. We should all be concerned about it, but I don't think people should be going into a panic. But it is imperative that journalists are getting information from the government about coronavirus, and also making sure that the government is doing, journalists are supposed to be the watchdog for the American people.
Right, exactly.
And that's hard to do when the government sort of closes ranks on itself.
Right. Well, I mean, I kind of, what's messed up though is that I don't understand. Again,
serving and understanding all this. What's the sensitivity of it? Who is making it that, or who is making it that sensitive? Why does it have to be that sensitive when it really isn't? I think briefing, especially when it comes to the CONUS stuff. I mean, you're briefing the American people at that point. Northcom, I think, would have an obligation, in our north to kind of like, I don't know, give us some assistance here on the information.
From people that I've talked to, I can't speak to the coronavirus, in terms of why they would close ranks on coronavirus.
Right.
But if it's anything similar to the U.S.-Mexican border mission, talking to people in the Pentagon, I mean, what they pointed to was that it's politically sensitive. I mean, that's why they didn't want to particularly talk about the mission.
Right. Is
that it was politically sensitive. And the Defense Department knows that. And the Defense Department, to be fair, the Defense Department thinks press relations have become better under Defense Secretary Esper than they were under Mattis, because basically the Defense Department lived in the shadow of the White House.
Right.
And so the fear within the Pentagon was that if we come out with messaging, it might get undercut by the White House's messaging. So we're just not going to engage with reporters. That seems to have ended with Defense Secretary Esper coming in, which is a good thing.
So what does that mean with the
in terms of the mission, in terms of coronavirus, it does seem to be pointing towards perhaps it's a politically sensitive topic, especially if you looked at the stock market today. I think it was either an NBC or CNBC reporter made the comment today about the stock market sort of going down today, where they haven't seen it this low since the 2008 crisis with the housing market. And that's directly influenced by coronavirus.
Right.
So I can see how it's been politically sensitive, especially and I'm just doing analysis. I'm not doing an opinion right now, but
of course.
I can see how that could be politically sensitive for the president, who is about to go on the campaign trail. And the one thing that he can sort of tout as, look at my record as president, is the economy. So, as much as I might not like it, I can understand the political sensitivity.
Right,
but
right.
That doesn't mean it's right.
Right, right. I mean, but does it? I don't know. To me, I don't think it. To me, I just get.
We all need a vacation.
Right, dude. I'm just like, just get this information out, because it literally, the news and the policy changes to this are happening instantly. There's no, because this is the first administration where something happens on the fly, it gets put out. Usually something happens on the fly, there's a press meeting, there's a presser, you got the fucking press secretary talking, you have answering going back and forth, you have some of the reporters asking specific questions, you have that going on. You don't really have, like, it's almost like the chain of command type stuff. You don't have you don't talk to the boss doesn't talk to you unless there's some shit going on that's like legit real stuff. I'm not saying that what he's putting out is not legit real stuff. What I'm saying though is that stuff that you would normally save for something like that would be put out through him, not over a tweet. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of like thinking this is the new way. He's now paving the way for future administrations now to do shit, because now there's a 24-second news cycle now. It's no longer a 24-hour news cycle. It's 24 seconds, and it literally every 24 seconds something is tweeted, something is posted, something is streamed. Like right now, people are going to take what me and you have said on Twitter, because we're broadcasting on, like I said, 12 different platforms, and we'll be podcasted on 20 more. People are going to take our words out of context. Well, Jim and Ken were talking on WTF Nation Radio about blah, 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 and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have every swinging, whoever coming at me, or coming at you, about what we said here, and it's reality now for journalism. That's the reality now for and communications.
Yeah.
Messaging, I guess you would say.
That's very true. I can't argue any of those points. And there's actually precedent for it now. There is, every time the president tweets, a court has ruled that those are official tweets from the office of the president.
Right. Yeah.
So you may be right in terms of him setting precedents for future administrations. You're probably right. I mean, there is now court rulings about, if it's something tweeted from the actual, President of the United States' official Twitter account, that's a just as good as if it's coming from the old office itself.
Right. Well, and a lot of it is that if we have press briefings, I think personally, if we have press briefings, like for instance, if it's a 24-hour news cycle, a 24-second news cycle with this administration, we need. Okay, Boomer, we need to get the old school out. You know what I mean? Get them out. If you can't keep up with the rapid succession of information flying at you as a press secretary, then you need to find a new job. You need to keep up with this guy, because the next one is going to want to the next administration, whether it be Democrat or Republican, is going to want to outdo this one. You know what I mean? It's all about the imagery in this at this point. All politics are psyop.
I mean, geez, there hasn't even been a White House press briefing in a while now. I don't know how long it's been. I mean, there is a White House does have a press secretary, but she does not hold White House press briefings anymore. She's been heavily criticized for that.
Who is it?
So the White House is sort of Stephanie Grissom.
Oh, really?
And so there's sort of the White House is sort of in the same boat now that the Defense Department was under Mattis.
Right.
I mean, the Pentagon press corps under Mattis didn't have a press briefing for over a year, and now it's just reversed. Now it's the White House who isn't holding regular White House press briefings. So, there is a fight for information out there. It does seem.
Yeah, I just kind of like the fact that we just let this shit flow out and then watch everybody react to how we talk about it, because people just get really, and they're just like going back to the information secretary. See, now think about this. Now think about that. What we just talked about. The president could possibly task. Think about if we had an information, a secretary of information. Think about that now. Yeah, I think the last time we heard about something like that was in 1984, the Ministry of Truth, right? Ministry of Love, Ministry of Truth. So here we got a president, good or bad, takes criticism or doesn't take criticism, looks over to his ministry, the Secretary of Information, and says, "You need to talk to the press." Is that a manipulation of the press by the government? Is it going to violate some constitutional precedents right there to have some sort of government? Right. You know what I mean? That's why that's another reason why I think it should not happen. I think that just a Secretary of Information.
McCarthyism wasn't that long ago.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, but dude, it should not have had. We should have. Somebody just said in the comments that, for honestly, we should avoid collecting all the reporters in a room to avoid the spread of corona, so you can't catch it on Twitter. So, but yeah,
good point.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. Kaz said in the comment, "Resurrect Tony Snow." So the thing is that I should say Tony Snow's style and his stoicism, man, because that dude was that guy was phenomenal. Didn't sway from it and all that. But my biggest thing with this whole thing about that goes back again. Think about it: Secretary of Information with the president like this, a Secretary of Information with another president. So I'm not. No, not even worth it. Not even worth it. Don't do it. Because then you're going to get
it does seem like a Secretary of Information would run into, the most oddest relationship within the executive branch is the relationship between the president and the DOJ.
Right.
Specifically, the Attorney General and the head of the FBI.
Right.
It is a political appointed position. But yet they're also supposed to be, the chief investigator of the nation and the chief, law enforcement officer of the nation. And it's a really weird dynamic. And we're seeing that sort of now with, Attorney General Barr sort of weighing into DOJ cases that directly involve President Trump. But taking President Trump out of it and all that stuff, it's always been a weird relationship. That this relationship within the executive branch, because even though they work for the president, they also have to remain neutral because they serve the American public.
Right.
It's sort of a weird dynamic within the executive branch.
Yeah, but then
it doesn't directly deal with governance.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. How would it though? You know what I mean? It's not direct. I mean, a director of information, man. A Secretary of Information would be just straight.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is that it feels like if we were to create a Secretary of Information, it would also fall into this this sort of weird relationship dynamic within the executive branch,
right?
Where they would have to toe the line between working for the president, but also providing accurate information to the American people. And I guess a question would become: could disinformation come directly from an Oval Office, regardless of who is the president, regardless of from whatever party?
Or depends who's in the cabinet. Depends who the Secretary of Information is going to be. It might be a ceiling of information coming out of the administration at that point.
Right.
I don't.
And what would be the difference between the Secretary of Information's role versus the White House press secretary's role, or the director of White House communications role?
Right.
How do they overlap? How are they the same? How are they redundant? How are they different?
Right. So yes. So you're making it a distinct cabinet level position for a position that is normally handled within the Department of the Defense. Department of Defense.
Right.
So.
Right.
Oh man. Hey Jim. Thank you so much for calling, bro. I mean, we wish you all the best of luck.
Thanks for having me. I know this was sort of like spur of the moment.
Nah.
But I appreciate it.
No, this is fun. It's always good to catch up with you, man. Like I said, there's probably going to be some stuff coming out of this anyways. And then, whatever new gig you got, then just let us know. You're always welcome here, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Hey, take it easy, man. Have a good one.
Bye.
That was Jim Laporta. He's senior defense military writer for Newsweek, and he's been we tweeted out and all that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. Spanky, I'm apologizing for not breathing at that past rant. I was pretty upset, pretty passionate.
I have to calm me down from the ice rants.
I know.
That's part of my job.
I know. I got freaking passionate.
It's my job description.
Yeah, I have a pretty passionate fucking feeling about how our forces and all that have been trained, and there's just this whole thing about director of information or secretary of information. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I think Jim did it on purpose.
Maybe he needed to drive a little bit at the time. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
We all know how to get ice on a rant. Oh, I need a 5-minute break. We'll get ice on a rant.
Yeah, we'll get. I need to go check something right quick. You can follow him at Jim Laporta on Twitter. Speaking of which,
yes, I did post those in all of our chats.
Okay, cool.
They caught it.
Speaking of which, I just want to congratulate a friend of WTF Nation and U.S. Army WTF Moments. I want to congratulate Joe Bacino on his promotion to Colonel. He went from Lieutenant Colonel to Colonel, promoted on Fort Bragg, and I was honored and I was invited. If you go to at WTFIO guy on Twitter, you can see pics of the event. I got to meet the former Secretary of Defense, Patrick Shanahan. Got to shoot the shit for a little bit. It was awesome. A great event. They were snacks. I provided pics.
I did get pics.
Hey, saw the pics. So follow me at WTFIO guy, and you can see all the pictures of everything that I posted. I also had a mentor that I met that I saw there, retired Command Sergeant Major John Kondrowski. My brother, man. Oh God, it was great to see him again. Bro hugs and kisses and all that stuff, and we were good to go. We caught up on a lot of shit. There's some stuff that he and I are going to be working on together, and I can't wait for that. I'm excited. But yeah, so I just want to extend a congratulations to Joe Pacino and his promotion, and thank you, General Carrillo, for inviting me out to the promotion. He made me identify myself in the audience. So
that's that WTF Moments guy.
He was like, "Where are you at?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, he dropped us in there. Kind of want to keep it private because they're not like that. They're not all about the big pomp and circumstance stuff. So I was honored at least to get a couple selfies with some of the groups and all that. So like I said, not to blast it all out, I was gonna put it on here, but I want to respect the gentleman and that, unless they say what's that?
And he was our first official military guest on Sergeant's Time.
Yes, he was. He was to come on to
representing the 82nd at the time.
Yep, representing the 82nd Airborne Division as the public affairs officer to talk about All-American Week and Legacy 100, and then took a job for being the PAO for former Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan. And then attended the War College, and now he's gonna come back. He's gonna go back to the airborne lands.
Once you go to the Bragg area, you can never get out of it.
Yeah, it's like that's what jump wings are. They were like a return to sender stamp. Yeah, so Colonel Jumpy, again, congratulations to you and your family. It was awesome to sit there and listen to your speech and all that stuff, and it was pretty cool stuff. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? Oh yeah, there was a story about Jim Laporta. We were talking about press secretaries and shit. There was a rumor that when I was going to go public, that I was going to be the White House press secretary. That was a rumor, and he called me up. Did you invite all those guys to come on as guests? Actually, there was actually, let me tell you what, there was a kid, there was three soldiers that they wanted to take pics. And I said, hey, can you get us on WTF Moments? And you know what? I will do that. How about that? I will have those individuals posted up. How about, do you think that's fair? Because they wanted some picture time with the old man. So I was like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
put them kids up.
Put them kids up. These are one of them was Captain Visser, representing the Rakkasans. I can speak some French, but this guy could sing it. He was escorting a French officer, and he's been used for his French speaking abilities to talk to individuals in France for the invasion of Normandy commemorations. Just a great individual. And then hang on, let me get a picture. Let me get this picture off here. Let me get my big head off of this thing. There we go. Let me add that one pic, and then there's a couple soldiers there. A PFC Williams from the 82nd Airborne Division, and PFC Cortez. You guys are awesome. You guys were part of the I wouldn't say they were a detail, but they were part of the. I guess they were part of the promotion. Yeah, I guess you could say they were detail. They were not detail dummies. They helped us set up and all that, and made sure that the guests were provided a good a good reception. Their escorts and all that, they were part of that. They were like, hey, are you ICE? We heard you before. Hey, don't you know I'll put you on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments if you don't freaking stop messing with me. Because they were kind of like, everyone was being curious because they were trying to figure out who it was, and I'm like, yeah, I'm more than happy to post you guys up. So let me grab one pic, me and Captain Visser here. There we go. So that's one of the WTF Nation fans. Sprite little captain. He's got his freaking air assault wings over his damn jump wings though, so that kind of gave me the ass. I'm kind of like I kind of like.
He likes Campbell better than Bragg.
No,
I don't know those rules.
How could you like Campbell better than Bragg? It is the center of the universe. It is of excellence.
I mean, Campbell has Nashville close to it.
I'm not
That's
impressed.
The only thing I know.
I'm not impressed.
Well, I've been to Bragg, but I was never stationed there. But they didn't have anything. I mean, they had a pretty good mall at the time.
Yeah.
But no, I was not impressed.
You were not impressed.
Oh, he's so
with
cute.
Yeah.
I just saw the captain's picture.
Yeah, so
just a little baby captain.
He's a baby captain. Great guy. We sat there and shot the shit for about 10, 15 minutes. And then, of course, this is the WTF Nation right here. PFC Cortez, PFC Williams of the 82nd Airborne Division. You guys, anytime. It was awesome to see you guys. Awesome to, to shoot the shit with y'all. And then, like I said, I know some people, if you get in trouble by your first sergeants, I know some people that'll make sure that you won't get in trouble.
I mean, just for taking a picture with you.
Well, I mean, they were. Well, I'm just saying they were like freaking,
I know. I'm just looking at their uniform, making sure everything's okay.
Yeah,
They're not gonna get in trouble for that.
They're not gonna get in trouble. Yeah, exactly. Is there any? It's okay, man. You got me to back you up, man. It's awesome. So
I don't see any deficiencies.
No. I have other selfies, but like I said, out of respect, I haven't tweeted out, and there's some that are not. I have some more pictures I took, so I just only got a few of them that I put on Twitter. So. You can check that out, but it was great to see those guys and gals and all that. So it was good stuff. But yeah, so those are Montez Williams, Captain Visser. Great meeting y'all, and glad that you guys are fans and followers of the WTF Nation. That's what it's all about, man. So shit, we kind of talked over and we're blabbing. Let's do some house cleaning. What do we got going on? I don't think we got any guests, right?
We right now within the next 2 weeks we don't have anything locked in.
Okay.
So we're kind of pushing, we have several in the shoot.
Right, exactly. I'm about to say we have a lot of anomalies. We have a lot of maybes. So I don't want to say who these guests are because they're not locked in, but we have some good guests coming up. I can't wait to have them come on. And we're still waiting on the general. What's his name? Samans, General, the Army G1. He's got to come on and talk about the Army people strategy.
Right, and me and his PAO, have talked several times a week, and you know how generals are. They have things to do.
Right.
And, we can't, accommodate, change our schedule. Like, this is the only time we can do this on Thursday nights.
Right.
So we're going to lock it in. Hopefully it will be within the month of March, on one of our summertime shows. No, I didn't. But, I'm not going to promise.
I honestly think that everyone's got schedules,
Yes.
Everyone's got, everyone's got shit going on. Everyone's got life. Life will find a way.
We will get him on and talk about the people strategy.
Yes, exactly. We were actually, the What You Husits, the music, Bayou Bandits, man. I love that music, man. They got some good tracks. Thank you guys again, Josh Strickland from Bayou Bandits, and shout out to you guys for listening to the tunes. Hey fans, I would like to do 3 hours. I mean, that's a good idea, cause, but I need to. Yeah, I'm not. My head is pounding. My head is like congested. It's like pounding. I'm sick. So I hope I didn't get.
It's not trying not to, go into all the throes of the man flu on air.
Exactly. I don't want to. You got the thrax, man. And next thing you know, the rumors start going around that I got coronavirus on air and gave it all to all of you.
Right, you can pass it through radio waves now. This is the new virus.
This is the new virus. All right, guys and gals, thank you for joining us on the WTF Nation. And again, this is Sergeant's Time, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. This 27 February 2020. I'm Ice, and I got Spanky. Shouts.
Snacky shots.
Y'all have a good night.
Take this photograph, tell me what it is you see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain, and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? Will I make it home alive? Should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see today. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. And now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. We'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da. Ra-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, dum, dum. Ra-da-da-da-da-da. Ra-da-da. Ra-da-da. Ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, dum, 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 dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun. Yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.